The alarm blares, piercing through the quiet of dawn, your hand reaches out, fumbling to silence it. For a moment you lie there, eyes still closed, feeling the weight of the day ahead pressing down on you. It would be so easy to hit snooze, to roll over and drift back to sleep. But something inside you stirs, a quiet voice, barely a whisper, urging you to rise. This moment, this choice to get up and face the day is where your journey begins. It's the first step on a path that will challenge you, push you to your limits, and ultimately lead you to a place where you can look back with genuine pride at how far you have come, what it truly means to. Don't stop until you're proud. This isn't just a catchy phrase or a motivational poster slogan. It's a philosophy, a way of life that can transform not just your achievements, but your very essence as a human being. Pride, real, authentic pride, isn't something that's handed to you. It's not found in empty praise or participation trophies. True pride is earned. It's forged in the crucible of challenge, tempered by perseverance, and polished by dedication. It's the result of pushing yourself beyond what you thought possible, of persevering when every fiber of your being screams for you to quit. Start a story of Amara. Amara grew up in a small village where opportunities were as scarce as rain in a desert. Dreams in her community were often treated as frivolous luxuries, impractical in the face of daily survival. But Amara dared to dream big. She wanted to become a doctor and bring quality health care to her community. The odds were stacked against her like an insurmountable wall. Her family, though loving, couldn't afford to send her to school beyond the primary level. The nearest university was hundreds of miles away. Might as well have been on another planet. And in her village, girls were expected to marry young and tend to their households, not pursue higher education. But Amara refused to let these circumstances define her destiny. She worked odd jobs during the scorching days, tending to neighbors' fields, selling hand-woven baskets in the market, anything to earn a few extra coins. When the sun set, her real work began. By the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, she pored over discarded textbooks, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. She sought out anyone with a bit of education, pestering them with questions, soaking up every morsel of information they could offer. When the opportunity finally came to take the university entrance exam, Amara hadn't slept properly in days. Her eyes were red-rimmed from endless nights of study, her hands calloused from work. But in those eyes burned a fire of determination that no hardship could extinguish. Against all odds, Amara passed the exam, but this victory was just the first step on a long, arduous journey. She had no money for tuition, no place to stay in the big city that housed the university. Many would have seen these obstacles as insurmountable, a sign to give up on their dreams, but not Amara. She wrote letters, hundreds of them, to every organization, every potential sponsor she could find. Her words carried the weight of her dreams, the fire of her determination. Most went unanswered. But Amara didn't stop. She couldn't stop, not when she had come so far. Finally, after months of uncertainty, a small non-profit organization responded. They offered her a partial scholarship. Not enough to cover all her expenses, but a lifeline nonetheless. Amara grabbed onto it with both hands. Her journey was far from over. To make ends meet, she worked night shifts at a local hospital, mopping floors and changing bed sheets. During the day, she attended classes, her mind sharp despite her exhaustion. There were moments when the weight of it all seemed too much to bear. Moments when the voice of doubt whispered that she should give up, that she was foolish to even try. But in those moments, Amara would think of her village, of the children who died from preventable diseases, of the mothers who suffered without proper care. She thought of the pride in her parents' eyes when she passed the entrance exam, of the hope she saw in the younger girls of her village. And she kept going. Years passed. Years of struggle, of sleepless nights, of doubt and fear and perseverance. And then one day Amara stood on a stage, dressed in a graduation gown, a medical degree in her hands, The pride she felt in that moment wasn't just for herself. It was for every obstacle she'd overcome, for every person who had believed in her, for every late night and early morning that had led to this moment. But even then, Amara didn't stop, because true pride, the kind that comes from relentless pursuit of a worthy goal, isn't a destination. It's a journey. Amara returned to her village, not as a conquering hero, but as a servant. She established a small clinic, facing new challenges, lack of equipment, skepticism from traditional healers, the enormous health needs of her community. But she faced these challenges with the same determination that had carried her through university. Years later, when asked about her journey, Amara said something profound. She said, "I am proud of what I have accomplished, but I am not done. There's still so much to do, so many lives to improve. I will keep going until every child in my village, in my country, has access to the health care they deserve. That's when I will be truly proud." Amara understood a fundamental truth about pride. It's not about reaching a single goal and then resting on your laurels. It's about continual growth, about setting new challenges for yourself, about always striving to be better than you were yesterday. I can almost hear some of you thinking, but that's an extraordinary story. Amara overcame incredible odds. My challenges aren't that dramatic. How does this apply to me? Every journey towards pride, towards self-fulfillment, is extraordinary in its own way. Your mountain might not look like Amara's, but I guarantee it's just as challenging, just as important. Maybe your mountain is starting a business in a competitive industry. Perhaps it's going back to school while juggling a full-time job and family responsibilities. It could be overcoming a personal weakness, breaking free from a destructive habit, or healing from past trauma. Whatever your mountain is, the principle remains the same. Don't stop until you are proud. Real. Earned pride. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's not about achieving some externally defined measure of success. True pride comes from within. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about living up to your own potential. Potential is a funny thing. It's invisible, intangible, yet it shapes everything about our lives. Your potential is like a seed planted deep within you. That seed does not grow on its own. It needs nourishment. It needs care. Most of all, it needs your relentless effort to bring it to fruition. Many people go through life never realizing their full potential. They settle for less than they are capable of, content to stay within their comfort zones. Living below your potential is a tragedy. It's a disservice not just to yourself, but to the world that needs the unique gifts only you can offer. Reaching your potential, living a life that makes you truly proud isn't easy. Everyone would do it. It requires sacrifice. It demands perseverance. It calls for a level of commitment that many aren't willing to give. What's the alternative? Living a life of what ifs and if onlys. Reaching the end of your days and realizing you had so much more to give, so much more to achieve. No, my friends, that's not the path for you. You are here because you have felt that stirring in your soul. That hunger for more, you are here because deep down, you know you are capable of greatness. The journey to pride, to fulfillment, isn't a straight line. It's not a smooth, steady climb to the top. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be days when you feel like you are moving backwards instead of forwards. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every setback, every mistake, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. When you go to the gym to build muscle, what are you actually doing? You are creating teeny muscle fibers. It's in the healing of these tears that your muscles grow stronger. The same principle applies to your journey towards pride and fulfillment. Each challenge, each setback is creating tears in the fabric of your character. And as you persevere, as you push through, you are healing those tears and becoming stronger in the process. This one is about a man named Marcus. Marcus was in his 40s, working a steady but unfulfilling job in middle management. He had a comfortable life by most standards, a decent salary, a nice house, a loving family. But something was missing. There was a gnawing emptiness inside him, a sense that he was meant for more. Marcus had always had a passion for teaching. As a young man, he dreamed of becoming a teacher, of shaping young minds and making a difference in his community. But life had taken him in a different direction. Financial pressures, family expectations, and his own fears had led him down a safer, more conventional path. For years, Marcus had buried his dream. He told himself it was too late, that he was too old to start over, that he couldn't afford to take the risk. But the dream refused to die. It whispered to him in quiet moments, haunted him in his sleep. Finally, on his 45th birthday, Marcus made a decision. He decided that he couldn't live with the rigor of never trying. He enrolled in a night program to get his teaching credentials, all while continuing to work his day job. It wasn't easy. Marcus would wake up at 5 a.m. to study before work, then rush to his classes after a full day at the office. He'd come home late, exhausted, only to do it all again the next day. There were times when he questioned his sanity, when the voice of doubt told him he was being foolish. His colleagues at work didn't understand. Why rob the boat? They'd ask, I've got a good thing going here. His family was supportive, worried about the strain he was putting on himself. But Marcus persevered. He kept going by the vision of standing in front of a classroom, of making a real difference in young lives. And 2 years later, he did just that. At the age of 47, Marcus stood in front of his first class as a full-time teacher. The pride he felt in that moment was indescribable. It wasn't just pride in achieving his goal. It was pride in having the courage to try, in persevering through the challenges, in proving to himself that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. But here's the really beautiful part of Marcus's story. The pride he felt that first day was just the beginning. As he threw himself into his new career, as he saw the impact he was having on his students, Marcus discovered a depth of fulfillment he had never known before. Years later, when asked if he regretted not making the change sooner, Marcus said something profound. He said, every experience in my life, even the years I spent feeling unfulfilled, led me to this point. They gave me the perspective, the life experience, the resilience I needed to be the teacher I am today. I am not proud despite my journey. I am proud because of my journey. Marcus understood something crucial about pride and fulfillment. It's not just about reaching a goal. It's about who you become in the process of pursuing that goal. When I say dot while don't stop until you are proud, I am not advocating for a life of endless striving with no joy in the present. That's not pride. That's a recipe for burnout and dissatisfaction. True pride, the kind that fills you with a deep sense of fulfillment, involves appreciating the journey as much as the destination. It's about finding joy in the process of growth, in the daily acts of discipline, perseverance that move you closer to your goals. A master craftsman creating a beautiful piece of furniture, yes, they take pride in the finished product, but there's also pride in each stage of the process, in selecting the perfect piece of wood, in the precise cuts, in the smooth sanding, in the flawless finish. Each step is an opportunity for excellence, for growth, for pride. Your life is that piece of furniture. Each day, each decision, each action is a part of the crafting process. Don't wait until the finished product to feel proud. Take pride in your daily efforts, in your small victories, in your resilience in the face of setbacks. The journey to pride, to fulfillment, isn't a solo endeavor. Yes, the drive must come from within you. Yes, the effort must be your own. But we are not islands. We are part of a broader community, a larger tapestry of humanity. Your journey to pride should not only be about personal achievement, it should also be about the positive impact you have on others. Because true fulfillment, the kind that resonates in the deepest parts of your soul, comes from knowing that your life has meaning beyond yourself. Remember, we rise by lifting others. And there's a special kind of pride that comes from knowing you have made a positive difference in someone else's life. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. It's a survival mechanism that's been hardwired into us over millennia. In our modern world, fear often holds us back more than it protects us. The fear of failure can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in unfulfilling situations because they are familiar and safe. The fear of the unknown can prevent us from taking necessary risks, from stepping out of our comfort zones where growth happens. The fear of others' opinions can lead us to play small, to dim our light so we don't stand out. Fear is often a compass pointing towards growth. If something scares you, if it makes you uncomfortable, it's often a sign that it's worth doing. Because on the other side of that fear, that discomfort, is growth. And with growth comes pride. The things you are most proud of in your life, were they easy? Did they come without fear or doubt? Probably not. They were likely the things that challenge you, that push you out of your comfort zone, that maybe even terrified you at first. Reframe your relationship with fear. Instead of seeing it as a stop sign, see it as a green light. When you feel that fear bubbling up inside you, recognize it for what it often is. A sign that you're on the brink of something important, something transformative. This does not mean you should be reckless or ignore legitimate dangers. But it does mean that you shouldn't let fear be a deciding factor in your life choices. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then do it anyway. Because that's where pride lies, on the other side of fear. Your mindset, the way you think about yourself and the world around you, shapes everything about your life. It influences how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately, what you believe is possible for yourself. There are two primary mindsets that people tend to have: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are static. They believe that you either have what it takes or you don't. This mindset often leads to a fear of failure, a tendency to avoid challenges, and a belief that effort is fruitless. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. They see challenges as opportunities to grow, view effort as the path to mastery, and learn from criticism instead of ignoring it. The beautiful thing is that mindset isn't fixed. You can cultivate a growth mindset through conscious effort and practice. It's about reframing your thoughts and beliefs, challenging your assumptions, and embracing the power of yet. When you encounter a difficulty, instead of saying, I can't do this, add the word yet to the end. I can't do this. Yet, this simple addition opens up a world of possibility. It acknowledges your current limitations while simultaneously affirming your capacity for growth and improvement. Developing a growth mindset is like tending to a garden. You plant the seeds of possibility, water them with effort and persistence, and patiently nurture them as they grow. Sometimes you might face storms of doubt or droughts of motivation, but with consistent care, your mindset will flourish. This shifted mindset can have profound effects on your journey to pride and fulfillment. When you believe in your ability to grow and improve, you are more likely to take on challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and ultimately achieve your goals. Consider the story of Lila, a software developer who had always struggled with public speaking. In her mind, she was a dot behind the dash scenes person, not someone who could command a room or inspire an audience. But when a crucial project at work required her to present to the board of directors, Lila knew she had to face her fear. Initially, the thought of speaking in front of such an important group paralyzed her with fear. But instead of giving in to that fear, Lila decided to adopt a growth mindset. She told herself, I am not a great public speaker yet. With this new perspective, Lila threw herself into preparation. She joined a local Toastmasters group to practice speaking in front of others. She worked with a coach to improve her delivery. She rehearsed her presentation countless times, each run through a little better than the last. The day of the presentation arrived. Lila was nervous, but she reminded herself of how far she'd come as she stood in front of the board. Her voice shaky at first, she focused on her growth, on the journey that had brought her to this moment. By the end of her presentation, Lila had not only successfully conveyed her ideas, but had also impressed the board with her clarity and confidence. The pride she felt in that moment was immeasurable, not just because she'd given a good presentation, but because she'd overcome her own limiting beliefs and grown in ways she never thought possible. Lila's story illustrates a crucial point about the journey to pride and fulfillment. It's not just about achieving external goals, but about overcoming internal limitations. The pride Lila felt came not just from impressing the board, but from proving to herself that she was capable of growth and change. This brings us to another important aspect of the "don't stop until you are proud" philosophy, the role of self-compassion. It might seem counterintuitive, but being kind to yourself is actually a crucial component of achieving pride and fulfillment. Many people mistakenly believe that being hard on themselves, constantly criticizing their efforts and achievements, will drive them to do better. But in reality, this harsh self-criticism often has the opposite effect. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and a fear of taking risks or trying new things. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend. It means acknowledging your mistakes and shortcomings without judgment, recognizing that imperfection is a part of the human experience. When you practice self-compassion, you create a safe internal environment for growth and learning. You are more likely to take on challenges because you know that even if you fail, you won't berate yourself for it. Instead, you will treat it as a learning experience, an opportunity for growth. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall down countless times, but they don't give up. They don't criticize themselves for their lack of balance or coordination. They simply get back up and try again. And with each attempt, they get a little bit better. As adults, we often lose this natural resilience. We become our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for every misstep. But what if we could recapture that childlike persistence? What if, instead of harsh self-criticism, we met our failures with curiosity and compassion? This does not mean making excuses for yourself or avoiding responsibility for your actions. It means acknowledging your mistakes, learning from them, and then moving forward with renewed determination. Self-compassion also allows you to celebrate your successes more fully. When you are not constantly criticizing yourself, you are better able to recognize and appreciate your achievements, no matter how small they might seem. Remember that the journey to pride and fulfillment is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistent effort over time. How about getting back up every time you fall? And self-compassion is the fuel that will keep you going on this long journey. The power of purpose. Having a clear sense of purpose can be like a North Star, guiding you through the darkest nights of doubt and uncertainty. Your purpose is your why. It's the reason you get out of bed in the morning, the driving force behind your efforts and sacrifices. When you have a strong sense of purpose, obstacles become challenges to overcome rather than insurmountable barriers. Purpose not always obvious or easy to define. For some people, their purpose might be clear from an early age. For others, discovering their purpose might be a journey in itself. If you are struggling to identify your purpose, start by asking yourself some key questions. What activities make you lose track of time? What issues or causes stir strong emotions in you? If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? Your purpose does not have to be grandiose or world-changing. It can be as simple as being the best parent you can be, or creating art, that brings beauty into the world or solving problems in your chosen field of work. The important thing is that your purpose resonates deeply with you. It should be something that excites you, that makes you feel alive when you think about it. When you align your actions with your purpose, you will find a wellspring of motivation and resilience that can carry you through even the toughest challenges. Think about Amara and Marcus from our earlier stories. Amara's purpose was to bring healthcare to her community. Marcus's was to inspire and educate young minds. These purposes gave meaning to their struggles and sweetness to their successes. Having a clear purpose also helps you make decisions. When faced with a choice, you can ask yourself, which option aligns best with my purpose? This can simplify decision making and ensure that you are always moving in a direction that's meaningful to you. Remember, your purpose can evolve over time as you grow and change. As you have new experiences and gain new perspectives, your sense of purpose might shift. That's okay. The important thing is to stay connected to what truly matters to you. In our pursuit of pride and fulfillment, it's easy to become singularly focused on our goals. We might work ourselves to exhaustion, neglect our relationships, or sacrifice our health in the name of achievement. But true pride, lasting fulfillment, can't come at the expense of our overall well-being. Balance does not mean giving equal time to every aspect of your life. It means giving appropriate attention to the various elements that make up a fulfilling life walk. Relationships, health, personal growth, relaxation, and so on. Think of it like a symphony in a beautiful piece of music. Not all instruments play all the time or at the same volume. Sometimes the violins take center stage. Other times it's the percussion or the woodwinds. But all are necessary for the overall composition. Your life is that symphony. At different times, different aspects may need more focus. During a crucial project at work, your career might take center stage. When a loved one is ill, your relationships might need more attention. The key is to ensure that over time, all the important elements of your life are attended to. Remember, the goal is not just to achieve, but to live a life you can be proud of. And a life you can be proud of is one that's rich and full in all aspects, not just in terms of accomplishments. Pride is not a destination. It's a way of traveling. It's found not just in the big victories, but in the small daily choices to show up, to try your best to be a little better today than you were yesterday. I don't stop until you are proud, but also be proud of how far you have come. Be proud of your resilience, your courage, your willingness to grow and change. Be proud of the impact you are making, however small it might seem. And most importantly, be proud of who you are becoming along the way. Because in the end, that's what this journey is all about, becoming the best version of yourself. A version you can look at in the mirror and say, with genuine pride, I am proud of you.